Hey everyone, Jay Whitner here with Kickstarter Coaching and our internet TV show, Crowdfunding Coverage. We do a quick recap of what happens each month in the crowdfunding space, and today we'll be talking about February of 2016. In February there were 4 major size campaigns, $700,000 or more. These big campaigns collectively brought in over $6 million, and the largest was the On a Go Fly campaign that was for a really smart, cool drone that raised $3 million. So we'll talk about those 4 big campaigns and some of the things they did to be successful. But first we'll talk a little bit about the crowdfunding news for the month. Equity crowdfunding is on the way, and various steps on that path continue to unfold. This headline is a little bit misleading, but the SEC has released a form to register funding portals for equity crowdfunding. So another step along the way of signing up people. You can either be a broker-dealer or you can be a funding platform, funding portal rather, to bring in equity crowdfunding. So another step along that path. Indiegogo was in the news that they laid off some employees, which may be a sign that the insane growth, the unsustainable growth rates that we've seen in crowdfunding for years, may be starting to level off. This was something that was bound to happen eventually, and apparently Indiegogo has laid off some people in anticipation of sort of a flatter future with less super robust growth that's been going on for so long. So a few less employees at Indiegogo. Kickstarter had a big milestone that they reached in February. They hit 100,000 successfully funded campaigns. So this is not total campaigns. This is campaigns that raised equal to their goal or more through the course of their campaign. So congratulations to Kickstarter, a huge milestone. And hopefully more exciting things will be coming in the future. A new feature on Kickstarter that there's a place you can go to find recommended campaigns. So they sort of look at your profile and campaigns that you've backed in the past, and then they recommend things that they think you'd be interested in. So I haven't really spent much time on it because I'm on Kickstarter every single day anyway. But for people that don't spend a lot of time on there, this might be a good tool to help people find campaigns of interest to them. A new thing Indiegogo is offering is secret perks. So this is rewards that are not like publicly shown on campaigns. You have to meet certain criteria to see these secret rewards, secret perks. I haven't really looked at this yet either. An interesting notion. We'll see if that is something that appeals to the, some people call them super backers, people that are really engaged in crowdfunding and support lots of different things. So the 4 big campaigns of February, the ones that we'll look at, they ranged in size from $860,000 to $3 million. So obviously they're all big campaigns. For once, all of the big campaigns have video links that are about what I recommend. So they ran from 2 minutes and 1 second to 2:46, which fits my 2 to 3 minute duration guideline that I typically recommend for most campaigns. The length of the campaigns went from 22 to 38 days. And again, this sort of meets the conventional wisdom that roughly 30 days seems to be a good duration for a campaign. The reward levels, they went from 5, which seems a little bit light, to 32, which seems a little bit heavy. It's easy to get carried away with the reward levels. You want to offer lots of neat things, and the backers do like it. But when it comes time to fulfill everything, the more complicated it is, the more difficult you're making your life in the future. Updates. All the people did lots of updates for their campaigns, from 13, which to me would seem to be plenty, to 37, which seems a bit heavy, actually, in terms of the number of updates they provided. So, the campaigns themselves. The first campaign was for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They did a board game based on that. So you can crowdfund anything. These people were largely leveraging their activity on the gaming community and the people that liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they had a pretty strong crowd behind their idea before they started. But their campaign itself, they had some supplemental video. It's easy to forget that you're not limited to just one video in your campaign. You can have multiple videos, and it's a good idea in many cases to do so. They offered a lot of exclusive Kickstarter items. In many Kickstarter campaigns, the product that you see will later be sold through other channels. And so a lot of people offer things that are just for the Kickstarter backers. A lot of time these are products that are in Kickstarter green or have a green slash on them or something. So these people had a lot of different perks that were exclusively for the Kickstarter backers. They also made a pretty big effort to get their game into retailers. So they had a package where a retailer could buy a bunch of the different games for a discount, and so they're trying to leverage extra outlets for their product. The next campaign was for a Swiss watch, an automatic watch that sort of had a military appearance to it, as you see here in the image. These people have done a Kickstarter before, so they were coming back for another effort. Some of the things that they did that you might want to consider for your own campaign is they offered the watch with a variety of colors. The base watch is black, but they had different accent colors on the watch. They also had different bands for the watch. And I think that if the economics of your campaign support it, it's a good idea. If it doesn't cost you a fortune to offer the different colors, it gives more of a choice to the backers, which is in your interest to do. They also touted a nice warranty on their product. This may sound kind of basic, but a lot of campaigns, they don't mention any warranty on what they're offering to the public, and the public likes that. Especially on something like Kickstarter, where you're not a super big known national brand or something that they might have more confidence in than a startup. The startup is going to stand behind their product. That's a very positive message. That's a good idea. One thing that was very unusual about this particular campaign is they had beautiful packaging for their watches that they sort of highlighted reasonably well in their campaign. Several images of like the box the watch comes in and all that kind of thing. It may seem like a secondary issue, but they really made the most of it. And an old friend of mine used to say, presentation is everything. They have a very nice presentation for their watch, and something that you might consider for your own campaign is the packaging of your product. Is it nice? Does it look first class? And in a growing trend for small companies, which is common on Kickstarter, small companies and individuals, after they concluded their campaign successfully on Kickstarter, they moved it to Indiegogo In Demand, it's called. So this is a good option for people that don't have a website to sell their product. They don't have the infrastructure for the website and online buying and shopping carts and all that other stuff. So they sort of use Indiegogo for that once their Kickstarter campaign is concluded. So this is sort of taking advantage of both communities, which I guess is another way to look at it. But there are certain people who prefer Kickstarter and some people prefer Indiegogo. So by doing this structure, you not only perhaps avoid or postpone the need to have your own website, you also can tap into that second crowdfunding community of Indiegogo. Next, we have the Prepped Pack. This is an interesting thing. It's sort of a futuristic lunchbox. It has a different design, obviously, so the physical characteristics are a little bit different. But inside this container are small sub-containers for the different kinds of things for your lunch that are like reusable, dishwasher safe kinds of things. And the entire thing comes with an app that has recipes and shopping lists for what you like to eat, and everything is geared up for the size of the containers that fit in the box, so you're not wasting food. And there's diet benefits, it tracks your calories and that kind of thing through the app. So a lot of benefits really for the idea. In their campaign itself, though, they talked quite a bit. Or at least they didn't really talk about it so much. I apologize. They had like some images of sketches of the thing in development and pictures of prototypes. They did more of that than normal to show the development of their product. In many campaigns, you see an area on the site where it's where they have like the media logos of all the different media people that talked about their product. In this campaign, they actually had links to those different media mentions of their product. So not only would you know, for example, that, I don't remember if they happen to be in Wired magazine, but let's say that was one of them, you would not only know that they were in Wired, you could actually click on the link and go read the Wired article. They had lots of GIFs and many videos in their campaign. They had a little bit of that. And one of them was also about the media, that they had a little GIF that scrolled some of the higher profile media things. Instead of having a list, they had the mobility of one of those GIFs. The big campaign in February was the On-A-Go Fly, which was a very nice looking tiny little drone. Lots of nice features, very high resolution camera for stills and video, nice duration. I think it had 15 minutes of flight time. Tiny little thing. The image here is it's hard to see, but it's the drone in someone's hand. Very neat product. And they did certainly very well, our biggest campaign of the month. They brought in over $3 million. They had 8 different stretch goals that they achieved in their campaign. This is a good strategy to keep your goal as small as possible, but to have meaningful reasons for people to continue to participate and support your campaign. This campaign was on Indiegogo. So congrats to Indiegogo with the biggest campaign of the month. That's unusual. They had a nice contest with their campaign. It was a referral contest that if you recommended people to the campaign that bought their products, if your referrals spent $1,000 or more, you got a free drone. Very compelling. People like that. And from the campaign's perspective, let's say that a person in the world, they worked hard to promote the campaign and they got one person to buy a drone. Well, they get that extra sale, but they're not obligated to give a reward until they reach $1,000. So presumably a lot of people helped promote the campaign and generated some sales with really no associated costs because they didn't make the $1,000 cutoff. So good strategically for the campaign. And they also had an interesting thing that was posted on their site: on-time guaranteed delivery. Now, I didn't contact them to find out the details. There was a mechanism that you could do that. But the idea of having a guaranteed delivery, I think, would be also of much reassurance to potential buyers, just like in one of the earlier campaigns I mentioned, that the idea of having a warranty is very beneficial also. That's it for our coverage of February 2016. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back in about a month talking about what happens in March, and we'll see you then. Have a great day.